Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. Just going to go through the Sask crop harvest progress. It came out yesterday, and we'll play a clip about the Parliamentary Budget Office, just talking about how things are going as far as the deficit.
Right? These are I use the words in French, which the translators probably got really well.
I use a different French.
Shocking, right? This is not like it's not a funny fiscal outlook. It's a really serious fiscal outlook. And we don't lightly use the word unsustainable, right? Unsustainable means you don't have the option of saying maybe I'll wait a couple of years, we'll see how things go. It means if you don't change, this is done, right? So it's very serious. And I think as anyone who's managed a household budget knows, if you sit down at the end of the month and you don't have enough money to pay your bills, and it happens month after month after month, you know that something's going to break.
Yeah, I don't know much more to say. That I would just use different French there. Crop report for Sask. They're at 68% harvested overall. And what does that mean? Where is it? Normally it's at 83. 10-year average is at 72. You can see canola is at 42% harvested overall, and your spring wheat is at 73. I was through an area by just south of Langeberg, and I was surprised how much wheat was out. And they got a fair bit of that rain, and now we're looking at some other degrading factors. Of course, the grain companies out there with their magnifying glasses looking at everything. I've said this for years now. Some farmers are going to have to go in there and take off their glasses and break them before they start changing grading practices. But yeah, there's going to be sprouts, mildew, you name it, lots of poor grades. Australia on track for their third largest wheat harvest, and what I want to maybe just highlight here is the area over here. 34.1 million metric tons expected. Last year was 33.8. The record for 22-23 was at 40. Barley is expected just 0.1 million metric tons ahead of pace. And then canola, it's just 0.1 million metric tons above the 5-year average as well. And again, the harvest isn't complete, but it's definitely on track to add quite a few more bushels. The U.S. PCE numbers came out yesterday, and it's really going to put a slow on the expectation that they're going to keep cutting rates in the U.S. And how and why does that impact us? Well, it just does. The economies are still quite tied together, even though you're going to see a lot of slowing of movement of products. But India's edible oil imports are expected to jump. I think it was like 4.6% year over year, mainly buying palm oil. And that's good, because that means that the veg oil demand is still pretty high. This dry area, and including the prairies, by just showing a couple different weather models, the same thing. It's going to be a lot drier, and that means just harvest is going to progress at a lot faster pace than last year, or than last week, kind of thing. So here you can just see we're looking for the yellow or orangey colors here, and it's relative humidity. So night versus day. So you flash across there. But even over the next 2 weeks, we're going to have a fair bit of open weather, or somewhat open weather, for harvest. While we're talking about Australia, let's talk about South America. You can see that there is a weather going to add a fair bit of moisture in South America as well. And then you can see that there's a fair bit of moisture on the coastal regions, and that's where most of the grain is grown. But there's definitely east versus west. So east is getting the rain. There's still a fair bit of cropland over there as well. So it's just something to start watching here. Oilseeds down nearly $2, or the canola is down nearly $2. Rapeseed is up a little wee bit at or half a dollar per metric ton. Soybean oil is down. Crude oil is down as well. And one that I don't talk about much is this U.S. Harbor, which is diesel fuel. It's down a little somewhat, but it's not concerning. But there's some higher prices, within the country, that's for sure. Soybeans down a couple pennies, and your wheats are basically just slightly down to unchanged. Canadian dollar is down as well. So I have a look at the canola. We've been going sideways for the last few days, really doing not a whole lot of anything. The expectation is still to get down into this 580 area. European rapeseed has been actually just basically moving towards all of the moving averages, which just means that it's going somewhat sideways here. The price differential in Canadian dollars is sitting at $151. These are the past history when there is a tightness to both crops. Soybean oil futures, this 200-day moving average is definitely getting respected here. We trade through it, we touch it, and we're holding. If that ever breaks, we're still going to go down into this 46, 47 cent area. Soybean had a bad week, or a little over a week, but it's sitting right at that 38.2 retracement value. And if we look at the crude palm oil futures, that story hasn't really made a green candle, but it's actually still holding pretty good at the top end of this range. Canadian dollar, looks like we've got a support level here with previous lows, and we break through there, we could be heading towards that 69 cent, 70 cent area. The flip side of this is the U.S. dollar has actually gained some strength. And I saw a story, but I couldn't find it. But the U.S. Indian rupee, it's at an all-time high. That's not necessarily a good thing for that country. But when you look at another country that had problems with that dollar, the Argentina peso, that buying program actually gave a little bit of buying power to their dollar as it fell apart or fell down. Capturing other currencies has actually helped that currency quite a bit. Chopping sideways on the spring wheat. We had a good day yesterday, but a wide range of trade, but currently right at some of these short-term moving averages. Kansas City wheat, been chopping around sideways here. Nice little leg going up currently, and same thing with the Chicago, right at its short-term moving average there as well. Corn has been going sideways, but the problem with that is actually it's starting to, fade when you look at some of these moving averages. Still supporting it or still respecting the moving averages, but it's not going to get back into that channel. By the look of it, it almost looks like it's and it all depends on what's going to happen with exports. But harvest pressure is going to be happening, and it sounds like basis levels are starting to widen out, which they normally do in the fall. But we'll have to see how that all plays out in a bigger way here. Live cattle. Made some highs and were pulled off of those highs. Same thing with the feeder cattle, but the lean hogs is still kind of pulling itself into that above that $100 mark there. So, and that's all I have for you today.